We're live. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
just say hello to everybody.
Yeah. Well, there's nobody on right yet. Figure we'll give people a couple minutes to get on. What's that? Should be there now. All right, we're going to try again. For those of you who made it over to the new broadcast, I'm going to give it a moment for a few people to make the switch. Christine made the switch. Excellent. Sorry for all these technical glitches.
I hope everybody can see us.
Yeah. Well, can you see the comments yet? Well,
Are we broadcasting?
I think we are. We're live.
It looks like we're just starting.
Oh, no, we're not. That's the old one.
How am I watching this one? Because that's, was live. Was live, yeah. It's gonna be. So what did we just do?
So, we just went under the Newport Bridge.
It was spectacular. We had no video.
And we're really bummed that you guys didn't get to join us for that. It's a really cool experience. Get rid of that.
Get rid of that Facebook.
Stop it! Go away!
Turn the volume down anyway.
Yeah.
There we go.
So,
are people out there? Do they see us?
I hope so. And I think they heard us before.
They did.
Couldn't
I could
see
hear
us.
them.
Yeah, so you heard some of our story, and hopefully Marika was able to get on. Looks like she is. You can barely see it. Yes, Marika's there.
Good.
So anyway, the story goes. Cheers. That's how.
Cheers.
We're drinking.
Here's how the story goes.
We're drinking red wine, as we said, from a close friend of ours, Richard Leahy, who crafted this wine from grapes from various vineyards in Virginia. Richard is a great guy. He's the guy who organizes the Eastern Winery Exposition every year, and we attend that conference. And so we got to see him in April, and he gave Carolyn and I a bottle of wine to share with everybody. And I thought, what a better time to bring the bottle of wine and we'll share it while sailing Narragansett Bay. It's outstanding, and it's nice wine. So, if you're wondering what we're doing, every year since our third year, since Chuck procured this wonderful boat 3 or 4 years ago.
This is our third. Yeah. This is our third multi-day adventure.
4 years ago, yeah.
First one was
Penobscot Bay,
then Pasco Bay,
yep,
and now Narragansett.
Narragansett Bay. Yep.
Where's the next
one?
The bays. Where's the next one?
Not done with this one yet.
Bay of Fundy.
eBay.
I heard it's a great place.
See the size of the sail off in the distance there, Chuck?
Oh, we saw some boats today,
Oh,
ladies and
did we see
gentlemen.
some
My
boats?
goodness, I've never seen boats like this before in my life, especially not really up close. Felt a little weird because we pulled into this really fancy yacht place in Chuck's spectacular, fantastic, gigantic 22-foot boat. And there were like 4,000-foot boats there. Massive, went up 10 times as high as this.
It was
Oh,
insane.
oh,
I haven't seen anything
It
like it.
was astonishing.
Motorboats that I guess
Yeah.
one person goes on or their family goes on. It's like a four-room
Motorboats,
four-level
sailboats.
apartment.
Yeah, it's like a cruise ship.
Oh,
Oh, speaking of the cruise ship,
Oh, we had a cruise ship too.
it's gone.
Oh, it is gone.
The cruise ship is gone.
It's
Yeah.
gone when we were
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
the
you see
Norwegian,
it, now you know.
Norwegian
Norwegian
ship
cruise line.
line
Cruise line.
was in the harbor here.
With their 14-story cruise ship.
It was gigantic.
Yes, it's huge. It's a little bigger than this.
A little bit.
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
lifeboats were bigger than that.
Our mast went up like the first story on it.
So, what do you guys think of Richard's wine?
Yeah, I like it. I was telling Ken earlier.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even have to say this, but you know, sometimes
Kind of West Coast.
it's kind of a West Coast style wine, but it's all Virginia grapes, and it has that really nice ripe fruit, which sometimes I think East Coast wines I have a
Be
perception
lacking.
that it can be lacking, and it's rich and fruity and ripe fruit and maybe some cedar notes to it. I think we didn't do it any favors by putting it in the bilge of the boat that day and shaking
Shaking
it up
around.
quite a bit. So it's not as clear as it might be. Haven't had a chance to settle, but it's nice flavor, and I think I give Richard an attaboy and a gold star.
There you go.
Gold star, Richard.
Cheers, Richard.
Yeah, cheers, Richard.
Thank you. Very nice. Nice place to enjoy it.
I think we had some nice charcuterie and things to go with it. That would be
Yeah, if we had Travis's.
yeah.
put together
Yeah,
there.
that would
Oh,
be
we do have some salami.
We do have some, yeah. But then again, we just had the world's best pastrami sandwich.
Oh, where was that? Where were we? We were in Newport. If anybody, we said we're in Narragansett Bay. We're in Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
We actually we docked the boat in a little harbor in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, just north of Newport.
Which
about
is where
10
we're
miles
heading
north.
now.
We're heading back to port, and we came down the coast to Newport for the day, and we had we toured. What port did we?
Adams.
Fort Adams.
Fort Adams, which if you're down in Newport, is worth the visit. It was fun and a really interesting history. And then we went into town and we went to what restaurant?
It was the
Buster's
Buster's.
Irish Pub.
Yeah.
And-
Good draft selection.
Good draft selection, and you will have, if you choose, the finest Reuben I think I've ever had.
Yeah, no, that's best I've ever had. Yeah.
It's just solid slices of corned beef.
Bread,
Fantastic.
monsters,
Rye
right
bread.
Yeah, so
Nice mix. Could
Thumbs
use a
up.
little bit more sour
maybe.
I don't know.
Can't agree on everything.
I always, there's always a little something that can push it a little bit, a little different. But we lucked out because we were forecast early this morning. We were thinking we were going to be in the rain all afternoon. That hasn't happened, and now they've pushed off until not starting until 9.
Yeah, great. So we'll be all tucked in. by then.
Yeah. Yeah, we've only got an hour and a half to go. To get there.
Is that what it's going to take?
Yeah, we're cruising along at,
Yeah, a couple miles.
at almost 3.5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So
We're ripping. That's why my hair is blowing back.
I know.
it is
Blown
not
right by here.
fast train today.
It is kind of fascinating. Now, and I know you touched on this before. We enjoy our time together, and when we go on these excursions away from the normal day-to-day activities, we get a chance to talk about where we're going with the winery, what's going on with our relationship to our customers and club members, and the bigger picture of our ideas and how to bring those to fruition. It's a very productive time. You know,
Huge.
we're hanging out looking at gigantic sailboats. At the same time, we're thinking about
The conversation about the winery is almost always, at the very least, in the background of every conversation. So everything we talk about tends to always wrap back around to the things that are going on day to day at the winery, both from a personal perspective as well as a business perspective.
So is Travis going to be bringing corned beef in?
Oh.
We have good rye bread.
I bet you
maybe
he's
so.
I'm just saying.
Maybe
Travis
so.
is wringing his knuckles right now. He's so happy to hear you say that. I'll bet.
I mean, we had the best up until we produce it. And then we're
Yeah, they make it better.
Yeah,
A little
they
more
make it
sauerkraut. Yeah,
We'll do a little something.
maybe a little bit of that special mustard.
Yep.
That's
That's right.
I don't know, Travis.
That'll be good.
We were talking about the whole pizza thing too.
Oh, Pizza's on Fire.
Pizza's
What's the show? What's that show
It's a
you
new
watch?
Netflix.
The Netflix show. Chef's Table.
Chef's Table.
Is doing a series on pizza that looks amazing. But, and Travis has been so excited lately because he now makes his own dough.
Oh, I know. It's so much better.
Yeah, and we're now doing small specialty pizzas and some great ideas, some great flavors and recipes. So yeah, there's going to be more of that.
That's good. Keeps changing.
Yeah.
Very good.
So anyway, this is where we're going to be for the next 3 days. Tomorrow, yeah, two
We'll
and
be
a half
back.
days.
We'll be back to the winery for the show on Thursday evening.
Yes, and if you're thinking about or wondering what you want to do Thursday evening, I highly recommend that you check the show out. The Adventure Time Trio. It's very talented group of musicians that are going to be playing.
What's the sort of style?
Sort of an upbeat jazz. So there's a description for the website. It's well described.
Is there a vocal? I haven't seen
No, I haven't looked either. The last show, standing ovation, right? I mean, the artists we've had are just continuing to be.
I like the bell in the background there.
Yeah, so this is a can. It's a bell-less sound, so the frog you can hear it. It's red, which means it should be to
Right,
the right of the
right
boat.
over third.
Yeah, red, right, returning. As you can
Cover's
tell,
on our left.
it's on the starboard side of the boat. That's because your captain is
Drinking?
He's a TV star,
yeah,
paying attention to his performance.
I only play a sailboat captain on TV on Facebook Live. So I don't know what I'm
You're
doing.
from Gilligan's Island. This is Chuck's Island.
Well, I figure if you get close enough to it, that's for the big boats that draw a lot of water. A little boat like this, we got some latitude. I would depth find run here too. The water is only
It
like,
says we're
what, 3 feet?
30 feet.
Oh, 30 feet. Yeah,
30 feet.
yeah, that's good. So we got plenty of water out here for us.
We have
So
plenty
if-
of wine.
More what?
Yeah. So if you go online, if you number 14 can in Narragansett Bay, can somebody find out where we are? Because that's where we are.
Yeah, the number 14.
The number 14 can in the Narragansett Bay. If
Just
anybody-
north of the bridge.
Anybody savvy on nautical
Probably a
charts?
kilometer north of the bridge.
Yep.
Find us. I bet you can see that red one on Google Earth.
Oh, you can probably see it on Google Earth. That's right. We're right in front of the U.S. Naval College, the submarine or torpedo
There's
school.
3
or
or
something.
4 different.
Yeah, this is the War Academy.
In the War Academy.
Yeah,
They have the big room.
yeah.
No one's allowed to see it. Is that the place before?
Yeah.
So we're going to be here, till Thursday? We'll be back.
Well, I learned some new things that might be interesting to our general audience and you guys.
Okay.
I went to UNH on Friday
Oh, tell us.
and met with Iago, who is running the experimental section that's not part of the cooperative extension. It's a different experimental group, and he does genetic testing and breeding tests. He's actually growing kiwis from seed. So this is a little bit like Randall Graham going a bit bonkers. It's like growing an apple from a seed. You're not going to get the parent material. But it's a way that you start to understand the genetic diversity that's there. He developed, someone asked him a question. There were quite a few people there that are growing kiwis either commercially or just as a hobby at their house. And he was sharing stories about how you need both male and female plants to get fruit. And one of the people asked, how do you know if you have a male or female before they flower? He said you don't. You have to wait 2 or 3 years until they finally flower.
Oh, really?
And that's the only way you tell the difference between the two plants. And then then at that point you rip out all but one male plant.
Oh
And
no!
leave the other one. So he said in their facility there, where they were planting hundreds of kiwis, they were tying up their field, growing plants, half of which they were going to throw away 3 years later. So he developed a system where he could take a paper punch, something that punches a little thing, circle, and he goes around and he can punch a leaf of a brand new plant.
Wow.
And then genetically test that and decide whether it's going to be a male or a female.
Wow.
So then he knows right there, yank it, and keep that one, yank that one, keep that one, yank that one.
Wow!
So it's pretty cool. And so he talked about pollination, he talked about growing, he talked about the history of it. Interesting, kiwi berries came into New England in the mid-1800s. Big, expansive homes on the seacoast, inland. It was, you had unique plantings in your British gardens or your fancy, well-to-do gardens. And this was a very beautiful, decorative plant. He says there are still a few of those around. There are 100-year-old kiwi berry vines, 150-year-old kiwi berry vines.
So here's a good story for you. Not too long ago, if you remember, Massachusetts was trying to put the kiwi berry
Oh, I remember that. On the
on the
invasive species.
invasive species list. The reason that they were doing that is that there was a mansion, a turn of the century mansion
In the Berkshires.
that had decorated their property at one point with these kiwi berries exactly the way you just described. And then that mansion ended up, the family went bankrupt and the mansion was abandoned. And those kiwi berries were very strong growers, and they took over large swaths of this property. So you can go there and see these kiwi berries in the wild. And so they became very nervous how successful those kiwi berries were after having been abandoned. The authorities became nervous that this plant was going to be too aggressive and
It'd be like
left
Japanese
alone, it'd
knotweed.
be like Japanese knotweed.
But it's not.
There's lots of evidence to suggest that it's really not realistic, because this is a very small. I mean, the decision was based entirely on this one location.
Yeah.
And there's no other repeat of that location.
Well, and the plant got there in the first place not because it was spreading around rampantly.
We planted it.
Planted it.
Yeah.
And then no longer tended to.
And it did dominate that spot.
Sure.
And who knows necessarily why, but there isn't a repeat of that.
Well, Iago was really interesting talking about this plant. And New England is ideally suited for it. It grows really well in our climate and in our soil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't grow these kiwi berries in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's too warm, and the soil's too wet. New England is ideally suited for it, and he is really the champion of this fruit because he's trying all these little genetic types, different sort of formats. He had an example there of an sweet Ann kiwi berry, and he said sweet Ann are pretty good. They grow real well. The fruit's kind of okay, sort of middle stream flavor, but it doesn't ripen evenly. It won't hold in the fridge as long. So from a production standpoint, for a commercial product, it's not very good. Step over here to Geneva, the tree, named for some species from the Finger Lake. This fruit you can keep it in the fridge, you can pick it at like 8 trips. And at that point, you can't eat it. It's a sticky, terrible thing. Keep it in your fridge, and it will ripen over the next 6 weeks. So kiwi berries, unlike a plum, are more like a banana, where you can pick it green and it will continue to ripen. So it makes a fantastic commercial fruit because you can pick it when it's still hard and unable to get damaged, ship it, deliver it, go to a place, sell it at the farmer's market. You can go and you buy it and say, look, these are going to ripen on your counter over the next week. Just wait until they're nice and soft and then pop it in your mouth.
So it's interesting you say that, because when we first started carrying kiwi berries, one of the things that I understood was they weren't very good as a commercial crop, because once you pick them as ripe fruit, they lasted for only 3 or 4 days before they would go bad. So it was the opposite reason. So it's really interesting that, and maybe it's because things have changed, maybe because we've discovered a species that behaves differently. I don't know.
He described it that way, and he said that Dave Jackson, Kiwi Dave, down in Pennsylvania, he does all of his commercial kiwi work there, and he's been doing it for 30 years by mail order. 100% mail order.
Wow.
And he has sold all of his 2023 property.
This is what Lagos said?
This is what Iago said.
Wow. So he's still growing.
He's still growing.
He's in his mid to late 80s, I think.
And he said that down in that section of Pennsylvania where he grows all these organic kiwi berries, he can't have any pollinators. There are no pollinators. There's chemical production facilities and all sorts of nasty stuff in the air, and all the pollinators die. So Kiwi Dave has to actually buy kiwi pollen and then manually spray it.
How do you harvest kiwi pollen?
Wait till they're ripe flowers and shake the pollen out. And then you just move that, sell that to somebody else. I mean, you can use it like a brush. You'll do this on a tree or something like that. You go around and collect pollen from one apple and then go take blossoms.
Right, but if he's spraying his vines, he's got to have an awful lot of it.
You gotta have quite a bit of pollen.
But maybe he's spraying with target.
Anyway, it was very interesting and very excited to work with him. I wanted to expand our purchase from him because our new Meredith Bay White is made out of kiwi berry. And that wine came out and sold out fairly quickly. So I want to scale that up and have more of it for next year. So that's where I went there. A number of people, he introduced me as the kiwi winemaker in the state. And then I've got people come up afterwards about where the winery was, how long we've been making kiwi wine. So it was a great little afternoon. Beautiful weather. We were standing around in his garden out there. It's great guy.
Winnie White with ice cream in it?
No, Winnie White is a plum. It does have a little kiwi. Winnie White does have a little kiwi, but the new Meredith Bay White
Meredith.
is the one that drinks a bit like the Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
I brought him a bottle. He was really excited to try that. And we had a couple that I found in the warehouse. I forgot about it. I actually had one that I could bring in. We were sold out.
You could have brought him. We also had the kiwi berry dessert.
Yes, the passion
pop.
That's right.
It came from Kiwi Dave.
Yeah, I should have brought him one.
Yeah. So, if you don't know, kiwis are a cousin of the kiwi that you're familiar with from the tropical regions. They're both cousins or offspring, I think, of the gooseberry. That's the original.
No, I think you looked that up. I know, that was a story that was told for a while. It's almost like you were there when we were not back.
So don't listen to us. We don't know anything about
made the first Dogo one. So,
You did.
do it. You did. As I do, I know I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, I think we get that.
You picked the fruit by yourself.
I wasn't even there.
Nobody was there.
Nobody was there.
Yeah, I went for a
We
run
weren't
by
born yet.
myself.
Yeah, I don't think I existed yet. Yeah, well, we can look that up to see.
So kiwis,
Related that way.
we'll find that out because I need to know.
Because he talked about two different types, genus of kiwi bear. And kiwi, he talked about the furry kiwi and the rest of them.
They're related.
There's 30, they're all kiwi.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of different types of kiwi berries. They're one of these, like a blueberry.
Doesn't he have like 300?
Thousands.
No, but he has 300.
3,000.
He has 3,000?
He has about 3,000 different genetic varieties
Oh my
of kiwi
God,
berries.
he's out of control.
He's out of control.
I can't say how this is pronounced.
Give it up. That's yeah.
That's Latin. Sounds
Hardy
Latin.
kiwi is a perennial vine native to Japan, Korea, northern China, and the Russian Far East.
That's the gooseberry. You know you're sailing in a circle now?
Oh,
He was heading into the sun, yeah. Trying to keep these guys on track.
Not easy.
Yeah.
You're not going to find it quick enough.
Anyway, fantastic informational thing. Learned some stuff about kiwi berries. I came home talking to Maya about it. She's like, "You want to plant kiwi berries?" I said, "I really would like to plant kiwi berries, but I don't have the time to plant kiwi berries. Too many things that I want."
That's the problem. There's always
It is.
way more things
I did harvest my hops this year. I'm very happy about that.
You gonna make a beer for me? It's time to make a beer. I think it's time.
Yes, it's finally cool enough. It's been really hot. It's no fun to brew. Stand around a kettle for 6 hours when it's really hot out.
You know, if you haven't heard my history presentation on Saturday, the Loft wine tasting experience, then you don't know that the reason that we are here sitting in this boat is because I suck at making beer. If you want to know more about that and understand why everything we're doing at Hermit Woods is almost entirely because I make terrible beer. And no, I made terrible beer because I don't make beer anymore.
No, you don't. I never got to try your beer.
Thankfully, you're happy.
That sounds like I gather.
Yeah. So come to our Saturday show, and you will learn the story behind why we are here.
And that's complimentary for club members, right?
Yes,
Saturday?
absolutely complimentary. Club members and their guests. It's so two complimentary per club member. Like this. And you know what? We're going to this fall. I'm gonna transition to an every other week program. So every other week you'll get a chance to see the history story told during the tasting, and then I'm going to do a wine appreciation class.
Oh.
So you'll be more in-depth tasting. You'll learn about the wine, but more importantly, we'll talk about how
Is it going to be a sequence, or you're just going to do this every other Saturday?
every other Saturday.
Every other Saturday.
It will be a sequence.
Because that might be interesting to some people. It'd be interesting to find out, maybe through a newsletter or an email or a post on Facebook, get people to vote. If they would want a series, like a 4-part series.
Well, I don't know that I have the data. I'd have to do some more research to put together a full series.
Yeah.
I have a single part's worth of information to impart.
I mean, if you think about all of the research we've done when we do some of these Facebook Lives, when we're talking about Oak Path, when we're talking about Clareview, when we're talking about certain wine regions, you look back and get information and bring that.
Oh, sure. No,
so all of that stuff
there.
can be brought together.
Absolutely. I just have to do it. Because the first
and
part,
I know you're busy sailing.
And I know I have to help Chuck find the dog.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
That's what
Dock
I'm doing.
39 and Dock 236. Somebody's got to be up looking for
236. It's hard to see with all those big boats.
Yeah.
There's some massive boats down here. I'm still
going.
By the,
We have we'll post a picture because there's a picture of a Chuck boat floating by.
You sure that wasn't that remote control?
I should have taken the picture.
Hey, you could have had one of the remote controls, then his boat,
Here,
then these other
we
boats.
got to see the smallest and the largest sailboat that exists in the world. I think pretty close to it.
I'd say it's been a long time since the 22-foot Chrysler has parked in that parking lot.
All those swanky boats.
Yeah, well, there wasn't. There probably wasn't a boat in there that didn't cost less than $100 million.
Probably, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, we were totally in Oh, well.
Drink beer.
But we had 2 decades of helping
Yeah,
dock our boat.
yeah.
And they
We
said,
did cast the line.
oh, is this your dinghy?
Yeah, so we
We left
real-
the big
real
boat in the
yacht.
harbor.
He didn't even offer you the tip jar. 'Cause he knew you were,
Yeah, no, he gave me $10.
He saw the pain.
you just
Said,
made
here,
right there.
sir. Put this in the kitty. Save up for the bigger
Come on,
boat.
man, you can do better than that.
And they were still talking about the tension between each other. They were getting the ropes at the right tension.
Yeah.
You need more, you
Yeah,
say,
we
well,
got right there.
it's like, this little boat.
That was really funny that we had 2 well-dressed, very smart-looking deckhands.
Well, they normally land a 50
I know.
It's the size of an apartment complex.
Yeah. It was a neat experience. I've been to Newport many times. I've never been down on the dock. And as you saw, we wouldn't have gotten in because we were there, parked there. We almost got arrested, and they saw us coming. And like,
What are you doing here?
There's no way they belong here.
They can't even afford the restaurant. Why are they walking past
Yeah,
the gate?
exactly.
We're like, we've got a boat here. See that one over there with that really tall mast? That's Dolgo.
Hey, yeah, if you didn't know, the boat that we're sitting on,
There's a doggo.
right below that camera there. I can do that. Right below the camera is the name Bilgo on the side of this boat. This is Bilgo.
Are you still thinking of a sail?
Yeah, I want to get a like a big puppy sail.
Oh, one of
That
those.
maybe has the tree on it. You know, and that may probably also so right now we could buy them because we're going in one direction and the steady breeze will give us another.
That's a spinnaker?
Yeah, spinnaker.
So our wind is shifted to we're now a south wind.
Tailwind,
That's how we got out here. That's amazing. It's going 180
Yeah, I
degrees.
know. That was wind shifting 180 degrees.
Coming out of the south. Southeast.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't
we're
we-
in the capital of U.S. sailing. It's challenging, changing.
Why is this the capital?
Because it's Newport, where all the America's Cup boats come from, where the ships were founded.
So it's just because it was first in the country over here? I mean, because they got tremendous sailing
Well, they
in
have a tremendous
San Francisco Bay.
It's, I think it's a great
So-
harbor. is what it was.
But
Well, they have it in
were
San
here
Francisco Bay,
first.
but
They were here 100 years before
100 years,
California was.
200 years.
Yeah, and it's a deep, next to New York, it's a deep water harbor.
And this had all the, the Ivy League schools, had all the money out of the cities,
Plus,
Boston, New York City.
the new Newport Jazz Festival happens here. I'm sure that has something to do with it. You know? Just trying to make a connection.
Isn't there a movie?
Jazz? Oh, don't we have
Yes.
jazz at the winery?
Thursday night. Did we already mention that?
Yeah.
Oh, they have a film festival here, too.
When are
Yeah.
we gonna do a
Well,
film
that's-
festival?
No, we need to do that. The film festival's in Rhode Island, but the founders of the film festival is in Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah, the
George and Larry are.
They live
They
here.
live in Newport, right? A few blocks from where we live.
Did you reach out to them?
So, sometimes they're on the highway.
Where are we going tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we'll go sail. It's gonna be rainy at some point, so I think we'll sail for a
We're
while.
gonna have morning sail.
Yeah, and then just see how the day
A
unfolds.
morning sail.
Yeah,
I always
morning
want to
sail.
be able to say that.
Morning sail.
Let's go to morning sail.
We should have a morning sail.
Have our wine.
No, we have one of those morning sails.
Mimosa.
We do a mimosa.
We had a mimosa.
this morning.
No, but we had a.
Have a beer this morning.
Yeah, beer.
It's kind of like this morning.
Yeah, just a beer.
Yeah, see, you can drink in the morning. Perfect. There it is. If you were wondering, you do not have to wait till 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Of course, you do for the show, but that's it.
We do.
We have to wait till 5:30.
We don't drink below before this.
Have to do it
Oh.
during the show.
Well, we wait until it's after 5 for the show.
So didn't we talk about having inviting club members for a sail with us at some point? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, come on down.
We should plan that. So how many people could we fit on this boat comfortably?
6, 10 probably.
No, we're just a crew or a set, not just leave.
Just 3 or 4 people in front.
Yeah.
3, 4 people back in. 6 people.
8, do you think?
The whole thing will ride a little bit lower.
Yeah, to be determined.
When you can put 3 on this seat, 3 on this.
Yeah.
You can do 6. There's a couple people up here, there's some people here. 10 people. Yeah. So we could get tickets. We do a sale. We go on win a squab.
He's like to be determined.
Right?
But no, we're figuring it out.
He's sitting in his head. Like,
15
what are these guys
people.
doing? They're advertising this publicly. It's not happening.
Oh, and you can fit 2 people in the dinghy.
Yes, and we have room.
And from the
So
thing.
that's where you'll be with the camera, taking pictures of all our cameras, hanging out with the Chuck on the Dogo.
And anybody that can't fit the boat, bring your kayak.
Oh, I think we have some kayakers out there. Yeah, quite a few. Is there a sailboat out there with a little teensy little mast? Blue, white. Oh,
Oh, look at the Crescent boat.
it's like this boat is an example of something that's like from the 20s.
Wow.
So when we pulled in there, this is like something in the 70s when you're looking at muscle
Like,
cars and
We
you saw
barely had
Model-
automobiles.
and you saw Model T.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was the Model T. Some of the block in. Look, that one boat had 4 600 horsepower motors on it.
Yes, 4 600 horsepower motors, all side by
What
side.
an amazing technology. 600 horsepower.
That's 2,400 horsepower.
Power, and they stick it in, you know, something that's not that long. It's amazing.
So, what do you think that boat's performance is? I mean, did they get to like England in 8 hours or something? Is that what it's designed to do?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
What 2,400 horsepower buys you on the water?
Well, I would expect you maybe it would go 60 miles.
Are there speed limits?
Really?
Well, I have to say it.
It's going through a thick liquid. It's like
hard.
racing a
It's
car
not-
through molasses.
It's not a hydroplane.
Oh, wait, how many horsepower is that?
Maybe
6. So 6 horsepower would get us home. What would 2,400 horsepower?
I think we could wheelie all the way back. You just
I think you could plane that boat to whatever speed you
Well,
want to.
I think you gain in acceleration. I'm not sure. I don't know what you get.
So you still go.
I just don't know. I just
You
can't.
know why?
The
'Cause we
boat's so
make money.
big. Yeah. I don't know.
know why
Maybe it goes
it
80. All right. How fast do you want this boat?
I don't really care.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't. And it's just purely intuition. Just say 80 top. That's fast, and it's rough ocean out there.
Yeah, that's the key.
You know,
It's the design of the boat.
How you gotta have a boat that's designed to.
It's just the impressive.
What, in the water?
Yeah, somebody's over there.
Somebody's over there for
Yeah,
that bird?
Oh, I
see that bird right there? You know, I can judge that that's only 1 inch below the horizon. So
Oh,
I know
yes.
that
How far is it
I'm
away?
1/8 of a mile
Oh, yeah.
from
yeah.
that bird, exactly. So I've calibrated my eyes to the curvature of the earth.
Yeah, which we discovered falls off 8 inches every mile. If you know what I mean.
So we're always perpetually going downhill.
Yes, so we're
Well,
on
I
our
like your idea. When we're looking at the distance in the far island over there, you can't actually see where the water hits the shore. We have to go up over
Oh,
this,
okay.
and then it's downhill.
Yeah, then it's down to
You start going
Once you get
uphill,
over
and
the
then
hill,
you go
you're going
downhill.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done some serious math where you got an awful
You know what we got figured out?
That sounds very
Wait,
delusional.
you know what we did get figured out?
We get figured out.
We are sailing down the Narragansett
Together.
together with Glass Carolina, talking to some of our favorite
Mine's empty again.
planet.
The bottle's empty.
Oh,
Sorry,
Richard, it was delicious. I hope you're watching. It was really good. We really enjoyed it. So,
Sorry, show's over. We're out of booze.
so no, that's it. And we get to do this with everybody out there at the same time. So it's really enjoyable.
It would be fun. We could do a kayak. Be another fun.
Yeah, well, Matt's already put on a kayak program for Facebook Live on these.
I think next year, yeah, take this to the bank. Next year, we'll get in advance on this, and we'll do some type of recreational-minded opportunity to get on a boat, kayak, a bike, a walk, a hike, whatever. We'll plan 2 or 3 of these through the course of the summer.
It's a lot of fun. Like when we went.
Yeah.
With Priscilla and the gang.
Yeah.
The bicycle.
And if everybody can make it, great. We'll have a big group. If a couple people make it, great. We'll have a small conversation. It won't matter. We were doing. Remember when we early, like 3 years ago. That's exactly whatever. Exactly. And the key would be is that you get to join us on this journey, which is what we want anyway. This is partly why we're here. It's for you. So the 3 of us will go off on an adventure, a bike, a hike, a motorcycle ride, whatever it is. We've seen plenty of them, and we'll invite you to join us. And we'll see how many people want to come.
Would you a squirrel suit?
The squirrel suit?
Yeah.
You can get a goose for it.
I want to do it.
I don't know why. Where's that coming from? Let's wait another 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, let's go. Why? Oh, why?
You jump off a cliff and you fly as a human being.
I'm thinking he wants to be like a furry squirrel.
Oh,
I'm thinking,
no.
What is he talking about? He
No, I
wants
don't wanna
a
be a
squirrel
squirrel.
suit. I mean, at least dress up like a snail. If you're gonna put a suit on.
I don't want a snail suit. I want to I want to fly. I want to jump off a
Look at
cliff.
this squirrel suit, actually. I can see you in a squirrel suit.
That's a nightmare.
We might need to,
That sounds like a
we're getting off
nightmare.
track. Let's get back
Oh,
to this.
we're getting off track.
Yeah.
Us?
Back to this
Off
plan.
track? I don't think so.
What's the plan?
We might
Hiking,
need
biking,
to.
walking.
We might need to recruit some help from our.
We need help,
from
all
our
right.
club members to help organize some of the details. Yes. Let us know if that worked. I think it did. It was on mute. It went to mute when the phone call came in.
No sound.
Yes. Yeah, we're good.
Back. And I have 2 glasses, both of which are empty.
Both are empty. It's not doing any good, is it?
All right, guys.
Oh, look what I
Oh,
found.
oh, what'd you find?
I found a
Found a
Lagunitas.
You found a beer?
It's a backup.
Oh, it's a
Backup
It's
plan.
an emergency beer supply.
Can I have some, sir? Can I have some?
Cheers.
Can I have some?
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's all you get. Okay. Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
So,
everybody.
to the new plan, to the club,
plan.
club
Club
outings.
Club
Club
outings. I like
The
this.
new
I like
plan.
Club outing.
We just created that. See, this is why we get together on these adventures, because when we're together,
We'll come up
we
with
come up
ideas.
with great ideas. And then,
And in
then
this
we
case, we're
bring it to
actually
you.
recording them, so we might remember them.
yeah, and it's proof that we have to do it now.
I never said that.
Yeah.
We're not doing it.
No, we've got evidence. He said take it to the bank.
Take it to the
Next year,
We gotta put
Maybe
we
sooner. As you said, we started
I don't
skiing.
think.
We're gonna do it. We're going to do a ski trip. It's going to be midweek, so if we can make a midweek trip, we'll plan it far enough in advance. So maybe you can make some plans to be available. We'll meet everybody at a ski area, either Bretton Woods or
Cannon.
Cannon. Probably should be Bretton Woods. We can't really plan the weather very well if we're going to be that far in advance.
Well, we know the weather's going to be rough if we go to Canada.
Exactly. So we're going to.
Besides, the view from top of Bretton Woods
It's the
is
best.
world class.
And there's a bar there.
And they have beer there.
And they have beer there.
They have wine there.
So, all right. So
That sounds good.
believe it or not, we've been here chatting for an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder we
I mean,
ran out of
I think 20 minutes of that hour we spent with technical difficulties.
wine. I was sorry about that,
Sorry.
everybody. I'm trying to figure it out.
You know, we're winemakers, not television studio people. This is as hard as we're trying. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to leave you, folks. We will be back to the winery on Thursday.
Thank you all. Next
Thank
time,
you.
maybe we'll be together.
Yeah, we will be together
Fun.
soon.
Take it to the bank.
All right.
All right, here he comes.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.